So yeah, my name is Mukunya Oundo, recently Oundo, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Naturelock Foods in Kenya. And we're a young company that started off.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I have the queen of snacks. Yes, Queen Oundo. She's going to give us the game all the way from Kenya about her Naturelock healthy snacks. I'm going to put that, and I'm going to emphasize that because that's the way that I read it when I saw her interview on how we made it in Africa. We always thank them for doing good stories, and we always like to talk and try not to repeat anything that anybody else said, because you can go read that story. Links will be in the description box, God willing. But she's going to give us the game on how she took a traditional healthy food and has it for a snack that maybe one day we can get in America, because we know we need more healthy food. We don't get enough of it. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Great, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for a good introduction.
Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. You know, you don't know this, but we actually have partnered with tour companies to bring 30 people to Kenya, and we're doing another tour in November. So I want people to like really check out those guests who are coming to Kenya with us, so they can be on the lookout for your healthy snacks and really get a taste of Africa. Can you tell the people though, because I'm sure this business was just given to you, already made in a box. You know, the money was already given to you, the process, the strategy. I'm being, funny, you guys. But let the people know when this idea came to you and how you put it together.
Wow, when this idea came to me, I think it was okay. Let me start from where I started, and I didn't know that I was going to be an entrepreneur, and I was straight from college, went to work at a cigarette company, and I had my drive going. I was ready for impact, self impact, but when I started looking at my community and looking at my aunties, my uncles who are farmers in the rural areas, it wasn't, it looked so easy from my end. Why can't you get your products to market? Why can't you preserve them? Why can't you think about it? And as my father is a professor at the university, and he was a professor, he's now retired, and he'd work with groups developing food systems for them. And so he kept challenging me, oh, Tay, why are you selling cigarettes and you could help these women sell their products and they're doing value addition? And this is over 10 years ago, huh? And so I thought, okay, you know what? I'm not enjoying the rat race that much. I feel the bug to go and do something different. And so I jumped out of a nice plum growing job at a cigarette company, and I thought, let me just go for this. And I'd done my calculations. I was going to be at that time we talked about being a millionaire. Now we're not millionaires, pocket change. But so I thought, I did my back of the envelope calculations, and I got started and rebranded a women's group products and set it off. And I started off as a business called Azuri, but that took long. I realized I needed to know much more. I needed to be my own HR, be my own accountant, be my own everything, and still make money. And that was difficult, and also have impact and influence. And I wanted to take all of what the women's groups had and convert it into products. But they also needed help. They also needed training. They also needed guidance. And I didn't have all those things. So my journey started then, but my end passion was always to have an impact, create impact, and make products that are healthy. And I watched my grandma taking some of the porridges I used to make, and she lived to be 112 years old. And her last 5 years, she just drank my porridge. She would eat a vegetable-based porridge and she'd like it. It's the only thing she knew. And that was inspiring. And so I ran that business for 12 years. and waiting to be an exporter for dried fruits. And that was my inspiration at that time, because the bigger I got, the more impact and influence I would have on farmers. That's what I thought. But two things happened. Two things happened over my journey that collided. First was I got a really good partner or buyer from the Netherlands who brought in a technology that made a difference. Oh, it was mind-boggling, and it could make dried fruit using my process. And it was such a simple technology. I was inspired. So we started developing fruit smoothies that would be exported to the Netherlands. Then the second big thing that happened, COVID happened. And so both the Dutch company and my company, took a nosedive, and we thought, okay, we've got to rework this. And as we looked at the technology process and how successful it was already with what we had developed and done product development with, we started the journey to work out, what about impact? My business partner now is called Wilco Vermeer, and he's Dutch. He's worked in so many companies across the globe developing food factories. And for him, and the same for me, we had the inspiration to make impact and look for food that would be consumed locally by Kenyans. And what did we see around? We saw a lot of malnutrition, a lot of hunger, a lot of kids going to school without a decent meal. And we picked the hardest thing to produce, but very nutritious, mung beans, green grams. And we thought, let's cook that. Let's mix it up with vegetables, a lot of tomatoes, a lot of carrots, onions, and it tastes good, and dry that. And the technology is able to dry any mixes. You could go into fish, you could go into meats, you could go into fruits. We picked mung beans to start with. They're really healthy. And once made into a delicious recipe, they would be unlocked with water to get back the same recipe. And that would be up to even a year. And so that's how we got on board, and we started that off, and we built a factory. We put up a factory together in early last year. And so between his experience and mine, we were able to do that pretty fast and to amass a network of farmers, get the market up and ready, get investors, and get the interest. But the interest first and foremost was in a really good product and food system solution that was we feel and we know it's going to be a disruption to the food systems for Africa. So when we scale it up in Kenya and get the kids eating it, get women eating it, people who just need that good nutrition, then we're off. And we're going to develop a lot of other products in the pipeline, and ranging from weaning foods for babies. They'll cost a fraction of what weaning food would cost, because the technology also allows for a really good price point. And then we go right into herbs and delicate fruits and berries and spices. There's so much to do. And all of it at an excellent price point for the low-income consumers in Kenya and in Africa. Maybe I should stop there.
Yeah, because you have said a lot, and I want to make sure people, fully get that with your partnership, and you got some venture capital and somebody who knew how to build factories. How was that process? Was it intimidating? Was it I know you said it was quick, but how was the process of, I'm going to actually put this factory together. I'm going to be responsible for so many people's jobs. I'm going to have to make sure the farmers don't raise the price on me out of nowhere, because they know now I kind of need them. That process mentally, how was that?
Yeah, for real, it was scary. It was scary, and both of us, Wilco and I, didn't anticipate how fast it would grow and how intense it would be. And just speaking myself and my background, I started from my dad's backyard. I converted his garage and said, Dad, I'm gonna dry my food here. and going through that and realizing, okay, the backyard's too small. Let me go and build a little processing plant on my own. And I went to a space out of town and thought I'd done a really great job building this little plant. But with this and what we've done now, it's so much larger. I'm running a team of 50 people, and we're scaling up. By the end of the year, we should be 100 people. And so the growth has been interesting and rapid. But what's inspiring and what keeps us really moving and motivated and not tiring out is because now we have the chance to do the things that we couldn't do because either we didn't have the access to finance, and so we couldn't have people paid according to market rates and standards. We couldn't have a daycare. We didn't think before, when I was running my own business, a daycare was out of my visibility. But now we have our staff kids playing in their little daycare, and it's so much fun to just hang out with them every time you feel like you need a break. And then farmers, we are taking what they would have going to waste. So it's not about them putting up their prices just to get something out of it. It's what we are giving them relief for what they could have lost if they didn't have it put into our process. And then the consumers, much as they're not really concerned at the moment on nutrition, it's just a good meal, then we are able to provide it at a price point that they can now start to pick a good, tasty meal at an affordable price. And it's working. So it's a win-win for everybody. And so finally, let's say you can have local farmers feed communities that don't have access to food in Kenya, in Africa. That's big.
It's huge. And what process are you in being able to put those products on Jumia and then Amazon so the rest of us can taste some of that deliciousness?
Yeah. So as we're going, we're going to partner with I won't talk about who it is now that will take us to the market and to the shelves, but it's an international company, locally based, that wants to take over the brand. We have a brand called Tuesday, and the first product we delivered was a stew. So it's a mung bean stew, and we can make a stew line out of that. And we're going to have beans, we're going to have vegetables, we're going to have a whole series of stews for that line. And when we hand that over to somebody who can accelerate the marketing and distribution, it allows us to go back to the drawing board and develop other lines of products. So we're going to go into soups, we're going to get that baby weaning food product program going, and just develop as many lines of different solutions that we can. And we are also able then to focus on nutrition. So yeah, to answer your question, it's going to come soon. And we have partnerships that are forming on that.
Now, what about partnerships with influencers? I represent influencers in Kenya and, of course, America. And so they'll say, hey, I want to be the face of that. Have you looked at the influencer marketing and how that could impact sales in Kenya and globally?
We have started feeling it. I mean, there's so much to do and so many things to look at and understand. And what we're looking at is influencers like foodies, people who will make recipes and convert our products into new things and new ideas. And product development is a big part of what we're going to be and how we're going to do this. So we haven't yet figured out how that will work because it's already so vast. And I think from what we already feel, utilization or understanding or getting into the space of healthy food, what does it look like? It doesn't have to be yuck. It doesn't have to be unattractive. It doesn't have to be that it is expensive. So we are transforming that space to an influencers. I'd love to use influencers from that angle on nutrition and good health and make it fun.
Well, good health is a great thing. Good taste and good health is even better. And that's where I think, influencers, from Kenya and again, globally to say, wow, I have to have this. Like our worlds are getting larger at the same time, getting smaller to the point where we here now have in the States, you can order from restaurants wherever in the States and they'll ship to you, which for somebody like me, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm like, why can't it be global, right? And more people, once you get to Kenya, people fall in love, whether it's the Kapinski or if you're in Mombasa, people say, oh, I don't want to leave here. And the food too can be, it's delicious and addicting. Where do you see, is this going to be only made in Kenya, or do you see yourself expanding to the, to the Europes, to the Americas, and letting, having like places and offices all over? Or is the food so rich in Kenya you can't, copy it somewhere else because of the ingredients and restrictions on, different things?
What it is that it can go anywhere in the world because the technology is versatile, but we want to do it where it matters the most. And in as much as we're talking about good food, good living, we want to have real solutions for not only Kenyans, but African countries and those countries where there's pockets of people needing nutrition. And so we want to take, and then there's hundreds and hundreds of smallholder farmers who just eke a living, and they need to make a better living out of their farming. And so if we connect that and get all the farmers on board to supply to this solution, and then we give that food and provide it to where it's needed, then it feeds the masses. I mean, I see a world where we do not have to beg for food. We feed ourselves. And so if it works in Kenya, it's going to work in Tanzania, in Uganda, it's going to work all over Africa. And the recipes are just going to be tailored to the country that they're from. So it's going to be fun to do it because every country will have its own flavors, its own taste. And yes, that doesn't stop the products from going to other countries, but they can also first start creating real solutions at home.
All right. No, this sounds great. And I'm glad that you have capital. I shout out, the Lions at Lions Den in Kenya. Olive, how you doing? If only like the Lions Den and all the different places in the Shark Tank collab and we have like one great show, wouldn't you love to be on something like that and you get to pick from all these people and the brand awareness? That's the world that I live in, and I hope everybody else lives in, where you're watching shows from everywhere and just tapping in. Tell the people, things are going well. The best is yet to come. What is a community give back that you are doing or that you would like to do in the future?
Gosh, there's so many things. What we are doing and want to do more of is bring the gender balance. That especially like COVID really had it rough on women, especially single moms and women who just didn't have a chance, because now you have to take care of your family. And so getting a job is not that easy. And so we want to bring them back to work and come back to work with your kids, just come back to work and continue with your career. So that's something that's extremely inspiring and possible to do. And bring back the confidence that the world wants you and needs you and loves you just the way you are. And so that's a big inspiration for us. And we'd like that to be modeled across all the facilities that we develop across the country. And we want our factories, because we are already setting up many units across the country to just do what we're doing. Have them hire people who would be able to just have the same theme and have the same culture. So we're setting a trend, and that will be great to have.
Can you talk about, when you're talking about setting a trend, when you put the daycare together, can you give a range of what that really cost you as an entrepreneur? Because Amazon, the Googles, like I remember when tech companies started to do that and people were like, what? You could do what? And it was like, yeah, take care of your people so you can make sure that they can work and they don't have to rush out and be stressed. But many entrepreneurs think that, man, that's going to cost me, you know, millions of shillings or millions of dollars. Can you give a range of what that could cost a small startup, you know, that is making some money or has venture capital? Like, I'm sure that's not the bulk of your money or you wouldn't do it, but I'm sure it makes you more money. So educate the people, please.
You know, it costs, okay, what it costs maybe is a room. You need to create a room, and then you need to hire a nanny. Those are the main costs if your facility has a cost. And then we put a wallpaper, a nice gay wallpaper, gaily brightening the room, and a few beds, a few little beds, and just follow the instructions on how daycares work. So how many children per minder? What is the age group? And honestly, in Kenya or generally everywhere, you don't need a license for a daycare because it's not a school. It's a place where kids come and their mothers can hang out with them and breastfeed them and take care of them so that you don't have to separate them. So it's fun to do. It's really fun to do. And how much does it cost to feed a baby? It's not. And they eat our food too. And so they're inspiration. And the biggest part of it is that the women are comfortable, they're content, and they're happy because their babies are next to them, are near them, and they're in good care. And what happens, the alternative for daycares, especially where we have the communities we have, the kids don't get that much good care. There's no access to good care, good water, good food, people who love them, minders who love them, and of course their moms just around the corner, or their dads for that matter. And so that gives a lot. It's worth it.
And what a blessing to be in Africa where you don't have to have a license for everything. Even for certain states, you need a license to braid hair in America. So this is why you can create a business in a place like Kenya, which is beautiful. You know, it's as busy as New York if you like that, or you can go out to other parts where it's a little more laid back like it is here in South Florida. The people hear your story, but they say, I want a book. I want a course. Teach me how you did it. Do you have any plans to write a book or maybe have a course, or, you know, you have certificates and degrees from places like Cornell University. Are you replicating the game so people can buy into, you know, how you made it and how you're going to keep going up?
Wow. Okay, at the moment, I haven't created something or thought to. I think life is accelerating so fast. I keep a diary, no, but honestly, there's a lot to share. I have mentees and people I mentor and talk to. Maybe that's not enough because it's a small number of people. I'll put that into mind. Yeah.
Well, it's always enough if you're doing what you're doing what you can do. And for all you know, people will try to, you know, suck the energy out of you, or you have to do what's in your purpose, or, you know, you might be a person who, you might have a Will Smith effect on people if they say the wrong thing to you. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I have to ask those questions because we'll get off this conversation. I'll air this and people will ask me all these questions I'm asking you. Even they'll ask, if I wanted to invest, how much of an investment would I have to, put in? And then when could I get my return? Because you have many people from the West thinking Africa is cheap, when done wrong, Africa can be very expensive. So, and they think bringing their dollars, I could buy up a whole village with, $10,000. And maybe you could, but the village ain't going to have much on it. So if you're open for investment, you can briefly tell people and where they can go to find out more details and what investment looks like and what return looks like.
Wow. I think it's so varied. It must be a conversation because, like for us, yes, we are looking to expand and so bring on board more investors. And we're, from our perspective, we look at patient capital, and patient capital is money that you can, the person who's investing in can wait, and they can wait because they want to see the impact. They want to see the effects of our ideas materializing. And sometimes to get that done takes a little time. And so patient capital will be 5 to 7 to 10 years. And so that instead of taking out from the business the profit or the dividends, then you plow that back and impact more people. So that is how then our kind of investment for what we are doing works for us. And so if it's accelerated, because if it was all about making money quickly, then we'd do the business differently and we'd model it differently. It would still work, and it's okay to want to make money out of your business only. But I think for us, our choice is to have a lot of social impact incorporated so that it takes a little longer to influence people's lives. But at the end of the day, we still make a good profit.
Well, once you become an entrepreneur and you figure out what your purpose and your strategy, many entrepreneurs then start opening up other businesses. So are you looking at maybe opening up with your food, maybe restaurants, chains of restaurants, or any other businesses out, that deal with food or outside of food, because systems now and you've proven that you can win. So what are any other business plans or ideas?
I think the biggest thing we want to do, because this business is so consuming, it's got so many facets to it. We want to open factories. We want to make, because we have the ability to make it bigger and have huge factories that have food that can go into emergency aid relief and food programs like that for the countries that we're in. And also as we scale, even on retail products, we're talking about massive scale, because these are products that are for the mass market. So scale is important. So we want to open up factories, and then we can also scale down. We can make our same factory as small as a container-sized unit that will then serve farmers in the rural areas, and we have off-grid drying facilities for this. So we want to have both. We want to have everything and put that up so that we can spread what we're doing into different communities, upwards and downwards as well.
No, that's great. And we need more factories. I always tell people, this Chinese, do they have to make everything for you to believe that it could work? Putting the factories is crucial in us making something. We have to make things, people. With making things, and I want you to leave the people with where they can connect with you. If they say they want to have that conversation about investment, where they should go. So, and you guys come with a serious plan. Just don't come saying, well, I heard, I had ugali and it was good. No, don't do that. Just, come with a serious plan, but let the people know where they can find you if they want to, further their education on your business.
Yeah. We have a website. We're active on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but our website is naturelockfoods.com. And we have lots going there as well. So we can be found there. Or write to me on my email.
Okay, email. Well, you guys look at the links in below, and you can find her. If you want to find her, there's information. I'm not giving you personal information, but if you read that article at howwemade.it.in-africa.com, you will see her email is right there. But I want you to, like I say, do your research and get educated. As always, people, whether you are watching, and thank you for kicking up our YouTube numbers, majority of you are listening on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, and our latest partner at AYV Radio in Freetown, Sierra Leone, Salon Bobo over here. I want you guys to make sure you guys share the game. It will change somebody's life. Be blessed.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed bio-socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. Diversifiedgame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. The opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.